Hey folks, so it looks like Last of Us 2 has been released. Everyone's happy, everyone's sad. There's all sorts of wonderful things happening on Twitter. And here's one thing that I like to point out between marketing and what you're actually getting. These are little tricks that game developers or maybe people who are aware of the story and don't want things to be spoiled like to change things up so that you don't ruin anything in the marketing. So this is not uncommon. I've seen this in movies, I've seen this in video games, and the kind of stuff we're talking about, at least that I thought would be noticeable, would be stuff like Thor Ragnarok and Mass Effect 3, just because I've seen those two pieces of media and I've seen the advertising. That's the reason why I went to go see the movie and why I was hyped up for Mass Effect 3. So let's look at Thor Ragnarok. Here is a still from the trailer where it looks like Thor is on the Rainbow Bridge and he's all buzzing with lightning coming out of his eyes. Now, if you actually watch the movie, this is a scene that happens right where he jumps off a balcony from, I think, the castle or one of the throne rooms in Asgard, that building behind him. And before then, he already lost an eye. So here it is, a still from the movie. So here he is, he's jumped down after fighting with Hela, and now he's going to fight a whole bunch of guys on the Rainbow Bridge. So at this point in time, you're like, if this was in the trailer, you'd be thinking, whoa, how did Thor lose an eye? That's kind of a big reveal. It's not really that big a deal, but still, I can understand why you would want to leave things out like this in the trailer. It's kind of raises questions. Is Thor weak? How did he lose an eye? What's the story behind that? You might even argue that could even cause people to want to go see the film because Thor is going through some problems, though having your organs destroyed or dismembered is kind of a big reveal in general, so I can understand why something like that would happen. Let's compare that to Mass Effect 3. So here's a scene from the trailer. This is the Mass Effect 3 launch trailer back in 2012. And here's a scene where Commander Shepard is vaulting over just a chest-high wall. And he's got his gear on, he's got his helmet, he's got his guns, got this full armor, he's got his sidearm. So as you can see, he's fully decked out. Now this is a scene that happens in the beginning of the game, the first level. And here it is right now. So this is where I think you acquire only the pistol and the Avenger assault rifle, and you've got nothing. You're just in civvies. So it's exactly the same scene. So in this case, all they're doing is decking out Commander Shepard to make him look more attractive, more action-packed. I guess you could say they're not revealing much of the story because of what happens. That is, the character is unequipped at the start of the story. So I can understand this just because they wanted to show more stuff on the screen. Commander Shepard's a game character. He's got stuff, he's got armor, etc. Now in this regard, to The Last of Us 2, the two scenes they showed in the trailer that were different than the in-game showed Joel as an older Joel, which you would think, oh, so we get to see more of Joel in the game, when in reality, Joel dies within the first few hours of the game. So this is the advertisement, or rather the marketing at the top, and the real live one in the bottom. The live one at the bottom is a flashback. So as you can see, even Ellie's hair is different. So this is Ellie and Joel in a flashback by Ellie reminiscing about what Joel was teaching her and all the things going on. Same with this scenario. So this is essentially false advertising because they're telling the audience, hey, Joel's in this game, but not the Joel you think in reality. We didn't know that until you actually play the game and find out. So this is more similar to the Ragnarok scenario. The difference is the scene in this scenario has a character who didn't lose an eye or didn't have a different haircut or it wasn't actually happening. This is a flashback scene. Oh, and also he's dead. This is not actually a character moment. This is something that already happened. So that would be a pretty big, probably the worst of the three I just showed you. Using a video game and its assets and its models to placate the audience, saying, hey, audience, look, you get to see Joel when he's older and Ellie when she's older. Well, yeah, you do get to see Ellie and Joel when they're older, but not in this context and not in this scene. So that is definitely a form of false advertising to get you to be more attracted to the game, when in reality, Joel dies very early on, and everything else is just one big flashback that you have no control over. So just thought I'd like to point that out. Game companies and movies do this all the time, and unfortunately I don't know if that's a good thing anymore, as it ends up becoming false advertising. It's just in different layers of lying and how much damaging that is to the actual narrative you're expecting. See, this is all about expectations. Marketing is giving you this product, saying, look what you could play, look what you could watch. And it ends up being something totally different, which is almost always a bad thing. In this case, probably the worst example of that. Anyway, thanks for listening. Have yourself a great day.